Black people don't want to get rid of oppression because then they have nothing else left to talk about.
Hey guys, welcome back again to the channel. It's so good to have you. Thank you so much for clicking when you saw this video. So in today's video, this guy who is also someone that looks like me, okay, so he came out on TikTok. I was talking about how um uh black people are not ready to stop being oppressed, and how they constantly make it look like they are constantly being oppressed, right? They are not ready to come out of their oppression. Like, he said so many things, and he even talked about Democratic Party and how they uses the whole pity party thing to make people to vote for them. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch what he has to say. Then we'll come back and talk more. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, and please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button right now, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Okay, share your thoughts in the comment. So let's go ahead and watch what he said in those videos. Then we'll come back and talk more.
Black people don't want to get rid of oppression because then they have nothing else left to talk about. And I know this is going to offend a lot of people, but I honestly don't care. I am sick. I did the debate on the Shade Room, and that's what they kept bringing up. The halftime show Kendrick Lamar did, that was his message to the culture. We're here. We're going to be unified. We're going to rebuild Black Wall Street. First of all, listen, if you cut black people a check, there's a book called From Here to Equality that was written by Dr. Sandy Darity, and I forget the other author's name. It was, done. It was compiled via several sources. A lot of research went into it, but it said that each person that is a descendant of slaves is owed around $250,000. I'm gonna tell you what most black people would do if you cut them a check in this country for 250 grand. They're not going out buying no property. Most of us, we're not going out buying property. We're gonna take that money and give that money right back to the same people that are so-called oppressing us still in 2025. We're gonna take most of that money and go right to Louis Vuitton, right to Gucci, right to Hermes, right to Ferragamo. We're going to all of these places that supposedly don't like us, because the mythology of oppression is so important to black identity that we have forgotten we are more than an oppressed class. I have never personally seen one black person in my lifetime cry over the injustice of slavery because their ancestors were enslaved. I have never seen any black person crying because their ancestors were slaves. I've seen them crying because they couldn't get damn Beyonce tickets over anything else. I've seen them crying because they wasn't first in line to get the newest Jordans before I've ever seen them cry about legitimate oppression in this country. And until we change that, until we really understand that we live now in the most free time in American history, the holding on to the slave mentality is going to continue to psychologically and financially hold us back. The Democratic Party, the left, banks on oppression being the oratorical method of choice. If I speak to you constantly about oppression, you will still believe you are oppressed, and you will still do what I need you to do every single election cycle. You will take your oppressed ass to the ballot box and look for me to give you a fish rather than teach you to fish. The Democratic Party relies on the oppression narrative. Break free from it and you will literally be out of the matrix. That's all you got to do, black people. All we have to do, keep our eyes fixated on that which matters. And somebody gonna say this is the tool of the slave master. That's a lie. They took this book from us. They took this book from us. But hey, Jesus said many false Christs would arise. Jesus said, blessed are you when you're persecuted. Do you understand it though? As for me, I understand it now.
I think sometimes people think they're making sense, where in essence they're not making any simple sense. Everybody has been talking about this whole thing for a very long time. Meet any black person in America today, they're going to be telling you the same thing. Like, they keep saying the same thing over and over again. Every one of them cry about what has happened to their ancestors, okay, and how they constantly go through the same thing, either by crook or by, they just go through it somehow. Okay, is it the way they talk about Black Lives Matters? Is it like they stand up for themselves? They also stand up for other people, okay, that are not even black. When the whole Palestine movement happened, they were in the forefront, right? They usually always stand for injustice and for everything that have happened to black person in the past. Sometimes I just wonder where some people get their own information from, where they get their own ideology from. Because this is exactly what is happening in this guy's video, right? He's now talking about how he doesn't think he has never seen a black person come out to talk about oppression that happened to their great grandparents, right? He's just not making sense to me. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments, right? Let's go ahead. I have some stitches from this video. Let's go ahead, listen to them. Then we'll come back and talk more. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. All right.
Black people don't want to get rid of oppression because then they have nothing else left to talk about.
There's no way in hell, at your big ass age, you made this video and said that shit. There's only two reasons why you would. Either your doctorate means nothing because you don't know, or you're pandering to somebody that don't look like us. I'm going to leave it to you to figure out, but I'm going to tell you a little bit of stuff. Just a few things, okay? First off, when you put this video out, your little tag was, tell me I'm wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. I'm telling you. Black man to black man, you were wrong as shit. Because you seem to think this is about oppression. Black folks love oppression. Without it, we wouldn't have nothing else to talk about. And all they want is a check. They can rebuild Black Wall Street. First and foremost, Greenwood is still there. Is it as big as it was in its heyday? No. But it's there. Go down and check it out. All you gotta do is drive down to Tulsa. I did. But you think this is about money, don't you? Allow me to show you how wrong you truly are. Number one, the amount of money that it would take to address all of these issues, all of the long, bloody history of blackness in America would bankrupt this country. It would be a worthless check the moment the federal government wrote it. Worthless. Because our money would be in the goddamn toilet. And secondly, an amount of money does not address the systems that were put in place that got us here in the first place. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. See if they make any sense to you. Do you think an amount of money will stop me, a 6-foot-tall, melanated man, from going into any store that I want? Money in my pocket, money on my credit card, walking in the door, and having to be asked, can I help you 5 and 6 times, being followed by security? Do you think how much of an amount of money would solve that problem? How much of a check do you think could be written that would allow people with names like LaQuisha and Jamal to be the CEO of a large company if they have all the qualifications and not be shunned because their name sounds ghetto or black or ethnic? How much of a check do you think you'd have to write to address the Rockefeller drug laws, the 3 strikes and you're out laws, the crime bill, and the war on drugs that literally put an entire generation of black folks in prison for decades for non-violent drug offenses? While you're thinking about that, I'll get a little bit deeper. So you looked at what Kendrick Lamar did on the Super Bowl stage, and you thought black folks love oppression. What I saw was black joy in its purest form. I saw a young man at the height of his talent being celebrated on the largest stage on earth. 133.5 million people tuning in to watch, and him giving a performance for the ages. You saw oppression, I saw joy. Maybe we were watching 2 different things. Maybe. Or, again, maybe we weren't the people that you were making that video for. But like I said, hold on. I got you, fam. Don't worry about it. See, what you did was you bought into the bullshit. You think black folks just want to check when since day one, we've been wanting reform. That's it. Do you realize there are small police departments all over America right now driving around and using military grade equipment as if they're fighting Al Qaeda and the Taliban on the streets of Chattanooga, Tennessee, or Cincinnati, Ohio today? Now, I understand the new boogeyman is the cartels and the ethanol. The cartels are coming, meaning they're about to do to our Mexican brothers and sisters the same thing they did to us when it was crack cocaine. How much money do you think the federal government would have to pay us for that? Money without reform is nothing. If I hit you in a head-on collision and you are crippled for the rest of your life, and I just handed you a big old blank check, and I just put in maybe 100,000, 200,000, 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, but I'm still out there running into people, did that money really mean anything? Did it? Or would you have liked it that I faced the consequences of my actions? I actually reformed. I did prison time because of what I did. And in the meanwhile, you're getting rehab. They're trying to nurse you back to health. That's the part you missed. You think this was about oppression. No, this was a celebration. You think it's about a check. No, a check is meaningless without reform. I can have all the money that the government gives me and still be chased and walked around and followed in every store while I'm spending all this money. So explain to me, how good is that money if I'm still suffering through the same goddamn things? I'm still being pulled over by police because my light is out and shit like that. Do you think money would have saved Amir Locke, George Floyd, Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor? Do you think money would have saved that? But hold on, because I'm almost done. They had to pass the Crown Act so that black men and black women could go to work with their natural hairstyles, whether it's dreadlocks, a big old afro, cornrows, what have you. We still have people using words like DEI, which is actually diversity, equity, and inclusion. And then they're making excuses. Or, well, it was a DEI that brought down planes that meant black, but none of the people that were flying were black. I digress. They use words like woke and woke mind virus and wokeism. Basically, a word black folks used to keep each other safe, they have now bastardized. And you want to tell me about a goddamn check? Do you think a check's going to stop that? Do you think a check is going to stop Fox News from using black gangs and Venezuelan gangs to scare the shit out of white people? Because I know that's what your audience was. You didn't make that video for black folk. No, you made it. You made it for white people. And you call yourself a doctor? A doctor? And you still believe in this shit? I do not have a doctorate. I have a bachelor's degree, but I don't have a doctorate. And you betrayed your doctorate by making a video so tone deaf in wording, tone deaf in sound, tone deaf in idea. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, but I'm pretty sure you're not. No, Kendrick Lamar's halftime show was not about oppression. It was about celebrating being our true and authentic selves and being good at what we do. And there isn't an amount of money that the federal government could give me or any other black person for that. We don't want a check. We want reform. Reforming the system that will make people believe that it is wrong for a black man to be celebrated. because he's good at what he does and he is a black man. You would know that if you weren't pandering. Now, it is imperative of you to prove me wrong. But I doubt you can. Because you're not like us.
Sometimes I feel that some people that looks like me, they think they look like somebody else. They think that they do not have the same color as me, right? That's why they will set their phone and their ring light to say whatever they want to say in support of another instead of supporting their own. Now, you talked about oppression and how black folks, feel oppressed and everything, and how the whole Kendrick Lamar's performance was all about oppression, and how everybody's rejoicing just because of that. No, it's not. This is guy gave, was given the opportunity to sing. This opportunity might never come to him again because of the message that he passed. The problem is that you were supposed to understand the message that was passed there, but instead the people who you're kind of supporting, because somehow it looks like you are not making that video in support of your own people, right? Now, those people caught it very easily. They caught what was happening. They caught the fire. They understood exactly what message that Kendrick Lamar was trying to pass. He passed that message, and these people are not happy about it, and you join them. You've joined them to talk about something you are supposed to be celebrating for a young man who was brought into the highest stage in the whole world to perform. And he used that point or that time, that opportunity to speak for his own people. And for you that do not even have such stage, instead of you to use your little platform to speak for your own people, you decided to speak for someone else. That's exactly what it sounds like. That's how it sounds like. You cannot see what Kendrick Lamar did on that stage and call it something else and say it was him trying to. No. He was passing a message, because it takes a very great influencer to help speak the mind of his people. That's what happened with his storytelling and his music. And when he said it was never about music, it has never been, he knew what he was saying. But people like you, no, you will never understand what he was saying, because your mind is fixed somewhere else and not in the understanding of what is happening.
I'm going to discuss the 3 phases of 40 Acres and a Mule. In the beginning, it was all about land redistribution. The mule came later. People like Charles Sumner, Thaddeus Stevens, and other radical Republicans were advocating for land redistribution because they wanted to strip the slaveholders of their power. This plan took place when General William T. Sherman met with Black American leaders. This is the first time in American history that the government reached out to the Black American community and asked them specifically, what do y'all want? You will be shocked on what they requested. People down south, this is what the leaders requested. I'm going to tell y'all. They wanted land, fertile land that they could work. And on top of that, they was like, don't even give the land to us free. Wait until we save up money and we want to buy it from you. Then General Sherman asked the leaders, hey, do you want to be scattered amongst the whites or do you want your own colonies? They were like, no, we want our own colonies. We want to live by ourselves. I hope I can have another minute of your time because I want to break down the 3 phases. This is the land phase, the land set aside for free Black Americans. The islands from Charleston south, the abandoned rice fields along the rivers for 30 miles back from the sea, and the country bordering the St. Johns River, Florida. Phase 2, the government. Who governs this land? Entirely Black people. No white people were permitted to live there. Phase 3, the final phase, the allocation of land and the protection of the people. Each family will receive no more than 40 acres of fertile land. and military protection for the people. Abraham Lincoln signed off on this. 40,000 free black Americans were able to occupy this land until Lincoln was assassinated and Andrew Johnson stepped into his place. Andrew Johnson was a sympathizer. He said, return the land back to the slaveholders. I feel like America should have did to the South what Germany did to the Yazis.
It's really going to take a while for a lot of people to really unlearn, relearn, and understand history fully, especially people who are also in the black community who kind of tilting towards the West. Some of those people need to calm down and understand the black history somehow, okay, so it can help them in their choices of words somehow, whenever they want to talk about or somebody want to brainwash them about the black history, they will be able to sit down and say, no, it's not like that. This is exactly what it's all about, because they have taken time to really study and understand what it meant. So I don't know how you all see it, but I just feel that whatever thing that Kendrick Lamar said in that stadium that day, in that stage that day, was him speaking his truth for his people. Okay, trying to remind them that there is a debt somehow that need to be paid. There's something that need to be done. There is something that you guys are forgetting. You guys need to sit down and understand what you're forgetting and ask yourself some question. Oh, hey, we are still here, right? That's exactly what he was trying to pass. He's trying to pass a message across. And the people who that message was meant for understood it. But it's quite unfortunate that some of the people that were supposed to cut or catch the fire are the ones trying to discredit his work, right? They're the one in the forefront trying to push the narrative that, oh, you guys like oppression. Oh, you don't like oppression. But you belong to a community of people who has been oppressed all their lives, right? Somebody like you needs to really, I think so, just sit and understand what has been happening, what history is all about. It looks like you're well read, but you need to really sit and understand what you're talking about. Understand lyrics and meanings of things, especially music or whatever, whatever that is being said. Understand what it means before you can really sit down and say a word. Articulate it first, right? For people like you and others like yourself, right? For you and others like yourself. So it's very important for you to really take that note, right? Anyway, guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Let's have that conversation in the comment section. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and please do well to subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button right now. Let's get to 1K, okay? Let's get to 1K. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you guys on my next video. Bye, guys.